Hey, mathletes. What we're going to start this unit with is we're going to solve quadratic equations by graphing. So the key word there is equation. Okay, what the heck? Last unit we were working with expressions. In this unit we're working with equations. What's the difference? Okay, here's an expression. Y is equal to 5x plus x squared. What's an equation? Well, simple as this. Instead of being equal to y, it's being equal to 0, or really any number that I really want. Okay, but usually you want that right-hand side to be 0. It doesn't matter though. Okay, so the difference is we're equal to a number, which means we can answer math's greatest question, right? What is x? That means we're solving equations. Now, the good news is you might think that's going to be more difficult than what we were doing last unit, but that's not true. A lot of you will like this a little bit more. So we're going to find 3 different ways to solve throughout this unit. First one is today, we're going to solve by graphing, then we'll solve by factoring, and then we'll use the quadratic equation. What I want you to think about is if these are my 3 ways to solve, we should always graph, friends. Always, 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 because it's easy. It gives us the answer. It's a good way to check our work. It's something we should always do. So it's really, really important. And we'll use this skill again a little bit in 30-2. Okay, so here we go. Let's graph the following function. So it's a function because it's y is equal to. So let's go to our graphing calculator. So make sure you have that with you. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up my emulator here. Okay, and let's clear out whatever garbage I have in there. And what was this one? 2x squared, and then minus 3x minus 4. Just like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure my window settings make sense. So I'm going to go to zoom, and then I'm going to hit 6 for standard. There it is. There is the graph of that function. No big deal. So remember what we would do in the last unit, we would find the max or the min, things like that, the y-intercept. Now what we're going to do though, friends, is we are going to solve this equation. So now here's what we know. We know this graph looks more or less I guess, because I'm not a good drawer, something like that. That's the function. What we're now going to do is we're going to solve this. When we say solve, what we're going to do is simply turn it from a function into an equation. So notice what I did there. I simply just made y is equal to 0. But where is y equal to 0 on our graph? Y is equal to 0. Well, that's my x-intercepts, right? Right? Those are the points x comma 0. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go and find our x-intercepts. So when one side is equal to 0, what we're going to do is we're going to find our x-intercepts. Okay? Or the other ways we could express that is the 0 or the root. And I'll show you the slight difference between those things. And there is a subtle difference. Okay, so let's go back to our graphing calculator because that's what this is all about today, graphing and solving. Okay, I think the easiest way to solve in a TI calculator is to go to y equals, go down to y2, and make that 0. That, again, is going to help us find our x-intercepts. So I'm just going to go second, calc, intersect. And just go first curve, enter, second curve, enter, guess who cares, enter. There it is. Okay, it's a pretty ugly answer, negative 0.9. We'll just round to 0.9, okay? And then we go and do it again. Second, calc, intersect. And remember, all you got to do is just move your cursor closer to the other one. If it'll actually move for me, sometimes my emulator wants to be a pain in the butt. Enter, 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 and 2.4. Okay, so our answers would be back to our other screen here. If Zoom wants to cooperate with me, it doesn't right now. Okay. Pain in the butt. Okay, so what are our answers? Well, our answers then are x is equal to negative 0.9, and the other one was, what did we say, 2.4. Okay, there it is. So my x-intercepts, I'm going to go and just rewrite these. My x-intercept, and x-intercept we always write as a coordinate pair. So my x-intercept would be 0.9. That's the ugliest 0.9 I've ever drawn in my life. I need some more coffee today. Try that. And my other x-intercept was, what was it? 2.4. Okay, that's my x-intercept. These here, as I've got it written, would be my zeros or my roots. Okay, so again, the only thing I want you to think about, you're graphing, and if one side's equal to 0, you're finding in your calculator the x-intercepts. That's it, friends. It's as simple as that. Now, wait a minute. What if the other side wasn't equal to 0? Let's go to hot pink. What if it was, I don't know, I'm just going to change the question up, and I made it equal to 1. Okay, well, a couple things we could do. We could very easily simply bring over this 1 by subtracting both sides by 1 and graph that and find the x-intercepts. Okay, but what if I didn't want to? Because he said earlier an equation doesn't have to be equal to 0. So what we could do here, if it's not 0 and I don't want to do any algebra, is I go to my graphing calculator, and what I'm going to do is, instead of making y2 equal to 0, I'm going to make y2 equal to 1. And guess what? I would simply just find those points of intersections. Oops, try that again. Second calc 5. First curve, second curve, guess. So now I'm no longer looking at the x-axis. I'm now looking for where those two lines intersect. Okay, so it really just depends on the question, friends, what you want to do. I'm a big fan of getting y is equal to 0 myself, but it's really up to you. So solving graphically means we're finding the point of intersection. If one side's equal to 0, we're looking for our x-intercepts. If the other side's not equal to 0, we're looking for where the two functions intersect each other. There it is. Easy peasy. Next lesson, we're going to get into a little more algebra, friends, and it'll get a little bit trickier. So I really want you to know how to solve by graphing. See you next time.